Hi, this is Kendra from Pencil and Pigment, and today I'm doing my second trial run check-in. So I did one the last Sunday of November, and that was my first one, and this is the last Sunday of December. So this is my last chance to sort of do this sort of practice video in case there's anything else you want to see or you want me to talk about and discuss. This is what this video is for. This is sort of just a practice and see if this is something that I am explaining everything enough and I am going through all the different things I want to talk about. So let's get into the month of December, and the first thing I want to talk about is my temptations, because I was tempted, and I don't think, in all honesty and transparency, there will ever be a month where I'm not tempted by something. What I'm hoping with this no-buy is that my level of temptation is greatly reduced, and it's more of just a oh, instead of a, oh man. I want that to be the difference in my head. So what were my temptations this month? And I wrote them down, and we can go item by item. So the Diary of Frida Kahlo. I have that book from the library. That is how I combated that temptation. It would be an amazing book to own. I'm going to let the library own that for me. They will take better care of it, and they will organize it and put it next to other diaries of other artists. And I think in a way that's much more befitting. The Caran Flesh and Earth set. That's $50 US, and that's what I do all my things in, is US dollar. And that is a beautiful pencil set. I don't need that pencil set. I have a ton of pencils. So I looked at that and I thought, oh man, I would love to own that. And then I thought, no, I have enough colors that I can combine. I can get really good at color combining with pencils instead. That is a skill and a talent I would rather have than this $50 set. So that's how I talked myself out of that. Jet Pens makes a green pen sampler. And you're like, what? So they make pen samplers under different colors. And the reason I was interested in the green one was for my 2022 planner. I really wanted to see which green pens would look really cool being matchy-matchy with this. Yep, I'm extra. Yep, that's unnecessary. So that's $30. And I talked myself out of that, and I went through all the pens I have in my collection, because I do have some green pens, and I put them all down here and saw what they look like and see what they look like on the other page, like how much show through is there with this thinner paper. And that's how I talked myself out of it. I already own a dozen green pens. I don't need a dozen more. Prismacolor Grade Lavender. It's one colored pencil. It's $1.35, and this would be 100% something I would feel nothing throwing into an order with a dozen other home good items when I place an order online. This is a convenience color. This is something that could possibly save me 3 minutes maybe in an illustration, and I wanted to own it. Instead of taking a light gray and I think I have a deft blue, and sort of overlapping those very lightly and creating my own, I thought, oh, it'd be so nice to own that. And I just talked myself out of it. I just need to get better at layering and color mixing with colored pencils. Acrylic paper. So Jackson's makes a really cool acrylic paper. I have some acrylic paints I want to use up under my no-buy, like use it or lose it. I need to go through all my supplies and use them. And I like the look of their acrylic paper. No. So I talked myself out of this one by realizing which sketchbooks I can gesso and then just paint over. So I did a lot of research with my inventory of the sketchbooks I own, and I looked at them and I figured out, okay, I found a recipe for gesso since mine has gone bad. It was 20 years old. And it's all home kitchen items I already own. And so I'm just going to use a different sketchbook I own. Stop buying more sketchbooks. Use the ones you have. That's the same with the gesso. I found a recipe. Don't need to buy any. Daniel Smith makes a great watercolor ground. And I've found multiple recipes, and some of them call for items I don't own, so I can't use those. But I'm going to see if this is something that's more of a want than a need. I have a feeling with this specific item that this is something that would sit on my shelf for 6 months, and then I would feel super guilty about not using it right away or having a project to use with it. And then I would try and create a project later. So I think the watercolor ground is a want and not a need, and I need to acknowledge that. I'm going to come back to that one. So a Etcher has a limited edition sketchbook. You know how I feel about sketchbooks. Ooh, it's $75. It's $75. So they make ones that are 100% cotton. They have like a red one and a blue one. I don't need that. I don't need that. I think I could bind my own sketchbooks and make more affordable ones for half this price. And if I want them to be red or blue, I can just paint them myself. That's what needs to happen. I'm coming back to this one. This is a hair dryer. I am having a lot of trouble. I've never done a painting watercolor challenge in the wintertime, and I am having a considerable amount of trouble getting my paintings to dry within 24 hours and me turning a page and trying to create more. I'm getting transfer things. It's a mess, and it's definitely a challenge within the challenge. And I legit think I need a hair dryer. I can't get my paints to dry and they're molding. I can't get my paintings to dry and they're transferring. This is something I feel justified in needing. And how am I talking myself out of that? I just say no. Every day that I paint something and I'm like, oh, I know this one portion of this paint is more opaque. It's going to take much longer to dry. I went into our kitchen, got some parchment paper. I put that in between the sheets so my paintings aren't transferring on each other because they're still wet, sometimes even 48 hours later. And that's what I'm doing instead of a hair dryer. I'm going to be honest. In 2023, I may buy a blow dryer or a hair dryer. I don't know the best way to say that. I have it down as $25. I obviously don't know how much those cost. I've never owned one, which is ironic because my hair is long. But yeah, that's something that has been the hardest because every single day I'm faced with the reality that this would help me currently during this challenge. And I'm just choosing no, nope, nope. So that is how I talk myself out of it daily. So looking at all the prices of all this stuff, like the Caran d'Ache stuff was $50, the jet pens was $30. Like that sketchbook from Etcher 75, I would have spent $233.88 this month of December, and that's wild. And combine that with November's $120. I would have spent over $350 these 2 months alone if I hadn't been prepping and trying to get into this no-buy. And that's wild. And that's why I'm doing this. I have no concept of how much money I spend when I see something I want or think I need. So, the other thing I've been doing is making my stuff a little fancy, a little extra. I put everything of my inventory in ink. It was starting to smudge and I was worried it was going to fade. And so I just inked it all up. And that increased sort of the professionalism and the seriousness of this, and I feel an additional layer of motivation because of inking. I have my whys, my rules, my accountability, my motivation, my end goals, my New Year's resolutions. I have it all inked out. I have everything ready to go, ready to remind myself, my accountability, everything is here. Let's see if we can see the bottom of that. I apologize. So I can constantly flip back to this and go, yes, this is why I'm doing this. This is how much I spent. I'm not doing that again. Don't forget your rules. Let's meet our goals. Let's meet our resolutions. And then I'm ready. I'm ready to be tempted in January because I've met me and I understand. So for supplies I've used up this month, there actually wasn't a lot in this challenge. Like, here's my jar. But the only thing I'm using up is one sketchbook. And since we know that's my greatest temptation, I feel like that it's okay. I'm only filling one sketchbook. I'm doing watercolors. And with watercolor pans, I'll never be able to use all these up in a month. That's just not realistic. So, again, the only thing I'm using up is this. This is my sketchbook. I'm filling it with birds. That's where I'm at. I did start a Pinterest group, and I think I have the settings correct. If you want to add something that's tempting you to a Pinterest board, I'll link it down below, and we can commiserate and support each other. I want to support you as much as you are supporting me. And let's go. The no buys coming. Let's do this. I know we can do this. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.